Coach Cam made this shit.
I'm Brenden Kron. This is Rex, and welcome to Jammin with Kron Rex. And did you know?
Two things. One, I want to put like a legal disclaimer in front of both of these because I don't think we should advise anybody to do these things that I don't believe can happen. But one, nutmeg can act as a hallucinogen.
Is it like extreme amounts or something?
That is all the information I got. And two, humans can blow up a balloon using their ear. Which, again, I do not think is possible. I think you will pass out long before.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what has to happen for you to blow air out of your fucking ears. Enough to blow up a balloon.
Yeah. We talked about this. I don't know if it was on the podcast or not. But an app of facts that...
No, it wasn't on the podcast.
That aren't true. Yeah, that a very small percentage isn't true. Yeah. I think you own that app. I don't think those are true.
I know. I get a lot of things. Like one popped up today that like manatees can gain buoyancy in water by farting, and I'm like, is that true? Like, yeah. I don't know. There's just so many things that I'm just like, I don't know. But it is stated as a daily facts app, so I'm like, who am I to judge?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, nobody has ever called me out yet, so I'm assuming all this stuff's right. But
it's like, I consumed every nutmeg, and I didn't hallucinate. So
fucking OD on nutmeg. But yeah, that would be great, just making an app that like 2% of the facts are just wrong.
A really small percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of, it just reminded me because I saw something about it earlier. I don't want to talk in depth about this because I have no idea what the fuck's going on in Ukraine.
Oh, no.
But there was one thing that I saw that I was like, this is kind of interesting. But the Ukraine requests that Apple does not allow Russians access to the App Store. So, like, they don't even want them to have access to new, like, Bloons tower defense, which I did not mean that in a, like, war strategy kind of thing. But I just think that's funny that they're like, Apple, they have went too far. They are not allowed to play Super Monkey Balls for. Like, take their fucking access away. I'm sure it goes a little deeper than that, but, I mean, what else do you use your phone for?
I don't know why. I was going to name another game, but I could only think of tower defense games.
Yeah, I know. That's the only kind of games that I play for whatever reason on my phone.
Apparently.
Yeah, but I don't know. I thought that was funny. That they're war criminals. Cut their access. Like,
Apple, don't let them in.
They went way too far.
Yeah.
But,
well, how's your week been?
My week has been fine. I don't mean that smugly, but my week's been fine. I was able to download the new Bloons Tower Defense. So,
can't complain. War strategy games.
Really prepping. I watched like 6 or 8 movies this week.
Oh, yeah?
I watched both of the Frozen movies.
Oh, okay. Did you like them?
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty good. Yeah. I watched Encanto.
How do you feel about it?
Really good.
What did you rate it?
9.
Oh.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Malcolm and Marie.
The little bit I've seen of it, I thought it was immaculate.
Really?
Yeah.
I think you're just saying that because of how it's shot. It is shot very well.
Yeah.
I would say the black and white will make you think it's a better movie than it is. The reason they're arguing is pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I only seen the arguments.
Yeah.
So I should say, like, I've seen a very, very small amount of this movie, but I thought it was so good.
That's all the movie, though.
If that's the whole movie, I love it. Because it's so small premise. It's so... I don't know. I liked it. I liked everything I've seen.
How crazy is that, though?
I even downloaded a song from it.
With 2 actors.
Yeah, that's
literally
awesome.
2.
That's awesome.
Like, they don't show any cutaway scenes to reference an argument. There's nobody that, like, calls. It is 2 people.
Yeah, I actually wanted to watch it.
I mean, yeah, I'm not going to tell you not to watch it.
The only reason I didn't watch it is because I wanted to give it like 100% of my attention. Like, I really wanted it to be a movie that I really watched, just because of how much I liked the little bit I've seen.
I think as a short film, it would really stand out. But as a full-length movie, it was too much. Because I think it would have been made more interesting if you could sympathize with both of them. But I think whoever wrote that was really either woman biased or just Zendaya biased. Because everything she said was a legitimate complaint. And the other dude, I can't remember his actual name, but I mean, obviously he's Malcolm in that movie, but he is such like a little narcissist crybaby, and it's just, you have literally no sympathy for him. But when you're watching a movie with two people arguing, and there's only two people in the movie, you kind of want to. Well, yeah, you kind of want to question who you're rooting for. But like, I don't know. At a certain point, I'm just like, God damn, this movie's still going on. Like, and then they make up right after, and I'm like, bro, y'all just said horrible shit to each other. Like, this is like, I don't know. And then at the end, it just kind of ends, and I'm like, okay, that just shouldn't have been as long. Like, I don't know. If it would have been like even just 40 minutes, I think that would have been so much better. But yeah, it was neat. I watched Memento. God damn, is it confusing. If you like to drink and watch movies, do not do that with this movie. If you're kind of tired, you'll still like it. I mean, I still liked it, and I was pretty fucking tired. Yeah. But you need to be awake and aware. I rated it an 8. Okay. Yeah, it was a really good movie. There was just, I don't know, there was just some things I was like, I think it being made in the year 2000 sets it back a lot, too. Yeah. I think if it was made today.
Yeah, I feel like sci-fi movies get away with this a lot, too. They can just be so confusing that a lot of times that I'm just like, I liked it. Like, and I kind of feel weird about it, so I rate it higher than, like, how I actually feel. And I've always felt that way about Memento. Like, I've always felt like if I watched it, I was like, it's going to be a confusing movie that I'm just like, I guess it's good because I hear it's good.
Do you know how it progresses?
I know he kind of like tattoos or writes on himself to give himself notes to remember. And I actually think I know the big plot twist at the end, but I won't spoil it just because I don't want you to confirm it or deny it. And I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen it.
Okay, so if that's all you know, then how the movie is shot will jar you a little bit. But I mean, you'll catch on pretty shortly after that. Yeah. But it's not a confusing movie. Like, it's not like when you're done with it, you're like, I have no idea what happened or why they did that. It's just the way it is filmed, you will understand things a little bit at a time, and as it goes, you'll be like, well, why did that happen? And then it'll show something else, and you're like, okay, now I understand this, but now I don't understand this. Yeah. And at the end of it, you'll understand everything. Okay. But it's just the entire time you're just like, wait, why did, like, that doesn't seem right. Why did that just happen in that order? But yeah. But no, it's really good. Being made in the 2000, I think, sets it back. I think that the year 2000, anything within like a 6-year span is really rough to watch. I mean, there's obviously exceptions to that. I can't think of any right now. But, I mean, I love Memento, but I think it still is set back by that. Yeah. But
I don't necessarily feel that way. Yeah. Especially with comedies. I really like a lot of, like, Scary Movie, Austin Powers. And I feel... Are those later? Am I wrong?
Yeah, but that just doesn't... It's not... Okay, so it is a... Yeah, it is a 2000s movie, but it's not, like, supposed to be. Mm-hmm. Because, like, Memento is a movie that is shot in 2000, and it is supposed to be happening at that time. Mm-hmm. But, like, with Austin Powers, it's supposed to be, like, back James Bond era. Like...
Yeah. American Psycho was an early 2000s movie.
Yeah. I guess since that one isn't, like, really in... like referencing pop culture, I guess maybe that's why like you don't hear a Limp Bizkit song in that. So
yeah, I bring it up a decent amount, but Requiem for Dreams.
I haven't seen that yet.
Spy Kids is a movie that doesn't age well for me.
No.
I couldn't imagine going back and watching it.
The fucking thumb people.
Shrek was a 2001. I fucking love that movie.
That makes sense. The soundtrack really makes sense on that.
Yeah. I mean, just scrolling through. I mean, Spirited Away was 2001. I got that movie a 10 out of 10, so.
Fast and Furious was 2001.
I don't bring it up.
Too Fast, Too Furious was 2003.
Kill Bill was 2003.
And the same year that Johnny Cash died.
Oh.
And
really?
Happy birthday to Johnny Cash.
Today?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's really crazy.
Yeah. He died the same year that Too Fast, Too Furious came out. I'm not saying that as like a connection.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. Real quick, to backtrack a little bit, because this is going to be more of a... We don't have any real main topics, so we're
just kind of bullshitting.
Yeah, I'm going to really dive into those movies that you watch. Encanto, the problem I have with that movie...
Did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave it a 7.
Ooh.
Or either a 6 or a 7. And it's only because...
You're racist.
There's no villain.
Mexican took your job.
No, there's no villain. There's no real antagonist in that movie, and it's one of those movies that like I feel would just be so much better with one.
There's no physical
Mm-hmm.
villain. But I mean, like,
there's no real antagonist. There's one person that kind of is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It just feels like they hype someone up. I don't want to, because it is relatively new. They hype someone up to be the antagonist, and they're obviously not.
He's great.
I didn't even want to say
well, he's not even he's not even a spoiler, because the most popular song is It Gets Stuck in My Head so fucking much. Even now I'm going to be singing that song in my head the rest of the night.
Yeah.
But no,
the music's immaculate. I think that was my only problem with it. It just felt like it was
Buff
missing
Chicks
something.
song, whenever she's talking about like the pressure and stuff, that goes crazy.
I love her.
But no, I actually brought that up because I do miss, because like even in Coco, you do have a villain, but he's just a villain because they find out something about him. Mm-hmm. Like he is a bad guy, but
There's one big difference between those two movies. The ending of Coco is perfect. Oh my god. The ending of Encanto is, I bet it is perfect for some people. It wasn't for me. It didn't feel so satisfying. I was like, yeah, that was appropriate ending. Like, it just felt like that's what had to happen.
I bet that movie slaps if you're close to your family. I mean, like, you look at everything you hear about, like, Spanish people represented in media, especially via Disney, which is apparently my entire socialization with Spanish people is through Disney films, but they are very family oriented. Yeah. Like in Coco, that's the whole thing is family, and in Encanto, the whole thing is family, and really the villain in Encanto is just like getting away from that, like not being as close to your family as you should, and maybe forgetting about some of the things. But I miss in Disney when there is a villain the entire time. It is never mistaken that they're not a villain. They are there from the very beginning. I think of Ursula. I think of Jafar.
I think of Tarzan, and I don't think he's perfect. Yeah, but I think he's literally killing them. Like he's hunting them. Like I think if he's like such a good villain, even though I don't think that movie's like perfect or by any means.
They're there's very clear cut villains. Like, you know who they are. There's no mistaking. They don't try to hide it. They don't mix it up. Yeah. They might be sneaky about it, but you know they're villains.
Yeah. On that note, we don't need. If you give me 1 out of every 10 is a like plot twist villain.
That commercial is amazing.
Like the villain you don't expect.
Yes.
But I don't need 7 out of 10 movies to be it, because the whole time I'm just like, no, they're not really the villain. Yeah. And I think Disney relies on that a lot nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah. But having said that,
the Switch villain. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Coco is probably like one of my favorite movies ever.
I think it's
like top 10 or 20 for me. I mean, it is great. Yeah. It is.
The ending.
Dude.
I don't know if I want to say it, but I was going to say the
especially
ending,
for you. I bet that slaps.
Oh, it was tough.
Not the Mexican family part, but you know a part, and I bet that hit hard for you.
The ending is as good and should be talked about as much as the first 15 minutes of Up. Because the first 15 minutes of Up is perfect. I think the last 15 minutes of Coco is perfect.
Yeah.
I think they should both be talked about equally. So
I think you should talk about Coco how you talk about the Godfather movies. It is genuinely one of the best movies I've ever seen.
I haven't seen Godfather. If you told me to watch one, I pick Coco every time. There's never a time
instead
I
of
pick
like,
Godfather.
hey, watch the entire Godfather trilogy or one movie you absolutely love and has solid musicals, which I don't think the Godfather has.
There's only a couple movies that if you were like, pick one of these movies that would beat Coco. And it's only mood.
Yep. Yeah.
Like, I would pick some comedies, like The Nice Guys, maybe, over that, just because I wanted like a more funny movie. Yeah. Versus, like, but it's just mood. Mood is the only reason I wouldn't pick Coco.
Yeah. But, outside of that, some grown-up shit. I watched Citizen Kane.
I don't believe I've ever seen it.
It's really old. A really good story. Mm-hmm. It has an emotional ass ending too. Mm-hmm. Solid ass movie. And then I watched Night of the Living Dead, the original.
Yeah, the one that it's supposed to make fun of, I guess. That Return of the Living Dead is supposed to make fun of. Yeah,
it is fucking goofy. As far as I know, I think this is like the first zombie movie.
Oh, okay.
I think Night of the Living Dead is genuinely the first zombie movie. Like, they don't even call them zombies.
Oh.
They call them, like, ghouls. Oh. But they are essentially zombies. It's just people that have mysteriously been brought back to life. But it is not a comedy, but and I understand in this time, it was probably horrifying.
Yeah.
I think it was like released in like maybe the 50s or probably earlier, but it is so fucking goofy. Like there's a couple parts that stand out to me. Obviously for 80% of it, the acting is really bad.
Yeah.
But like I know zombies today aren't supposed to be like this. Back then the rules were a little loose.
Especially if you're making the rules.
Yes. But the lead woman at the beginning of the movie, whenever she realizes she's being chased by a zombie, she runs in her car, locks the door, and the zombie grabs the door handle and is trying to like fucking open it. And then he's just like hitting the window and he looks around and grabs a rock and starts hitting the fucking...
I don't know what it is, but if you're supposed to be scary and you look around, it's not scary. I don't know why.
No, especially when it's like you're not just like a calm and collective, like you're just like, but he was like,
you're trying to figure shit out. Like it's just not
like
scary.
He was scrambling.
Yeah.
And then she finally starts up the car. I don't know why she just now decides to. She drives like 2 minutes down the road and it is a straight path and she just crashes. Like she just kind of slides off to the side of the road. And you can tell, like, they didn't have the special effects to, like, make it look like she crashed into the tree. So they dented in her car before she hits the tree. And she doesn't even really hit the tree. She just kind of scrapes it. And there's a big fucking dent in the side of her car. That breaks my heart. I'm like, because I even had to rewind. Because I was like, did I miss something? Why'd she just wreck? But she's just driving straight and goes... just fucking drives off the side of the road. And then the zombie just walks up. She had been driving at like 60 miles per hour for 2 minutes, and the zombie is just right behind her. And I'm like, but no, it was really fun to watch. It was so fucking goofy, but yeah, I also love it because I thought it was going to be actually scary when I first started watching. But when I realized how goofy it was going to be, I just started doing my taxes, and that's not a metaphor for like me being bored because I did enjoy that. But I was like, well, I guess if this movie's not going to be serious, I'll just do my fucking taxes. And then I get a call from my dad, and he was like, hey, what's up, Roy? And I was like, just watching a movie and doing my taxes. And he was like, oh, okay. And then just starts talking to me. And I was like, I just told you I was doing my taxes. Yeah. Like, there's really not more of a legitimate excuse right now for me to be like, hey, I'm kind of busy right now.
Yeah.
Like, I am actually doing my taxes.
Yeah, that feels like the most busy.
Yeah, that is like the most grown-up reason I can tell you that, like, hey, maybe later.
Yeah.
But, like, I am actually doing my taxes, and he stayed on the phone and talked to me for 45 minutes after that. And he was like, oh, yeah, I didn't mean to bug you. I just had to tell you about blank. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. I was like, I guess I'll just hop back on my taxes that I was still doing this entire time.
All right.
Yeah, gotta love it.
All right, real quick. For a movie like that, how do you rate it? Because
it's so tough, dude.
So it should be funny, but if you enjoy it for not being, do you hold it accountable for, like, that's not its intentions, or do you not?
Well, it's so hard because it's like, it's hard. It's really hard rating movies that are before your time. Mm-hmm. But it's unfair to say that because I fully gave Citizen Kane and Casablanca a 9 or a 10. And those are movies that were made before that. Mm-hmm. But they are immaculate movies. Mm-hmm. But this movie that is also held up to, honestly, almost as high of a regard as those two movies is just goofy. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's because it was a scary movie back in the day, because, like, if you go back and watch King Kong, it is goofy.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like, it is rough to watch, but I mean, the acting's bad, and I know there was good actors back then, mm-hmm. but I don't know, you just kind of have to give them a pass of somewhat, even though you really don't have to.
Yeah. I think I'm fully changing my scale.
Yeah.
And I think I might go back and review some things because of this.
Be a little harsher on older movies?
Less of fully off of enjoyment.
Well, fuck you. Oh, okay. Because I was saying that still sticks with it, but I would say you just gave Charlie Chaplin's movie like a 3.
Yeah, it's because I didn't enjoy most of the movie.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to just rank it off of today, when I watched it, how much I would like to rewatch it. I think that's going to be my scale.
I don't rewatch movies, though. So that's hard for me to rank it, because, like, even the movies I've given a 10, I really, like, I'll probably go back and rewatch No Way Home. But
I rewatch the shit out of comedies.
Comedies are, to me, the most rewatchable. But, like, for me and you, we have recently started our kick of, like, trying to watch all the movies that, like, we probably should have already. Yeah. So it's hard for us to go back and rewatch something when we're like, well, should I go back and rewatch this? Or, like, I still haven't seen a second of the Godfather movies.
Yeah. For me, it's hard to be like, should I watch Godfather? All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings? All of them.
Yeah.
Or should I watch Norbit again? And I'm like, I'd rather watch Norbit.
Norbit, yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, and it's crazy going through, like, the list of the top 100, how many comedies are in there. Mm-hmm. Because, like, it's a good amount. Like, the one that flew over the cuckoo's nest, Dr. Strangelove. I didn't know Dr. Strangelove was a comedy.
I didn't either. I didn't know until just now when you just said it.
3 of Charlie Chaplin's movies are on there, but, I mean...
That's tough. Because the one we watched is his number 1.
Yeah,
and I didn't like it.
And then the next 2 are, like, City Lights, and then The Great Dictator.
Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to it all.
But, yeah, I have just seen the photo for The Great Dictator, and I think it's just Charlie Chaplin playing Hitler. I think the description of that movie is a Jewish barber gets mistaken for a dictator, and it is Charlie Chaplin in Nazi paraphernalia. So unless that was just a bad candid of him strolling throughout town one day, I'm pretty sure that movie is about him being Hitler.
It just depends. Those movies are good for a short amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the longer the movie is, the worse it is. So hopefully, because the one we watched, Modern Times, it was only 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it felt long.
Yeah.
So hopefully these are like 45 minutes, and I think they'll be pretty good.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Dude, you know people was fucking dying during those scenes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, whenever he just, like, the wacky, like, taking the wrench and bonking someone in the head. Yeah. You know, people's probably falling out of their seats fucking laughing.
Bonking.
And that's the most accurate way I can describe it, because it makes a sound that sounds like bonk. but it is just so goofy that it's. I mean, because like I think Superbad is a 10. So I understand the importance of movies of Charlie Chaplin because he's like a comedy pioneer in at least film.
Yeah.
But like, how do I give that anything above a 5 when my comedy and sense of humor gives Superbad a 10?
Yeah.
Like, because I do not live in a world where both of those can be 10s.
No.
Either one of those have to be below a 5 and one's a 10. You cannot have both of those above a 7.
Yeah.
Like there is no fucking way that's going on.
Yeah, the way I feel about it, and the reason I kind of want to change the entire way that I rate movies is because like I can appreciate a movie. And I shouldn't that should not go into my rankings. At least that's how I feel. I'm not a film critic.
Well, yeah, and I'm just doing it for me.
Yeah,
like
so
a lot of the
base it off of just me.
A lot of the movies that I actually like rate, like I don't. Nobody else will ever know.
Yeah,
but for some reason, I'm taking into account like well, I know this is a good movie, but I'm like, well, I don't like it, so that's what I'm giving it.
Yeah,
but
that's why I feel like everything on the list of like the top 100, nothing was getting under a 6. Like everything, like a movie that I was like, I just don't like. I hope I never see this movie again.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll give it a 6.
Yeah,
but it doesn't deserve that. For me, it was like, I never want to see this again. It should be pretty damn low.
Yeah, I also genuinely don't believe the people that are giving these movies like 10s. Like people that leave a review like 2 months ago who just saw a Charlie Chaplin movie and they're like,
wild.
This is peak comedy, one of the pioneers. I'm like, dude, you're just saying that because society is telling you that movie's good. There is no way you think that's a 10.
It's like you want to feel smart, like you want to feel better.
Yeah,
than people.
yeah, exactly. Is that like you're like, oh, you're not a movie buff, so you don't get it. That's a 10. Like I'm like, dude, what did you think about it? Like I don't care if you think that's a film buff thing or not. Like.
Yeah.
What do you think about that? Also, I don't know why this just came into my head. Oh, no. I heard one of the most specific racial stereotypes I've ever heard in my entire life, and I thought it was really funny. We was getting something lower down to us at work, and we were trying to reach for it.
Real quick.
Yes.
We is not we.
Yes.
It's not me.
You were not involved.
I'm not involved in this.
But at work, this guy was lowering something down to us, and this other guy was basically telling him, like, how much to lower it. And he was like, okay, a couple more feet, and then, like, kind of slow down so you're not just, like, lowering it 100 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. And he said, keep lowering it. And I heard the guy over the walkie-talkie that was up top. He said, what do you got, a bunch of Guatemalans down there? And I was like, because I guess that was a short thing. Like, he was like, oh, they still can't reach it? What are they, Guatemalan? And I was like, did he just say Guatemalan? I looked at the people that I was working with. I was like, I was like, that is so specific. Yeah. I was like, I don't even think I've ever seen a Guatemalan. And I was like, as far as I know, they're just as real as unicorns to me. But I was like, what a weird stereotype. Because like I've heard the stereotype that like Cubans or Spanish people are short, or like Asians, but specifically Guatemalans. I was like, that is fucking hilarious to me. And ever since, me and the guys at work have been using that as a fucking reference. Like, what are you, Guatemala? Out of context, it probably sounds horrible to the people we're working with. But rather climb up on a ladder to get something, I'll be like, hey, look at this fucking Guatemalan. Other people are like, what does that mean? But yeah, just now in this podcast, if you ever hear me use that term, it is because of a guy at work that I am carrying on his legacy, I guess, of oddly specific racial stereotypes.
Yeah, I don't love it.
That's all I wanted. That's all I want to say. I don't know where the hell that came from.
Yeah.
I guess Guatemala. but I also finished a book. I finished 2 books this week.
Oh, yeah?
I finished Misery. Mm-hmm. One of the greatest books I've ever read.
Awesome.
I haven't read many books, so it's not saying a lot, but it's an amazing book.
Yeah.
I watched the movie.
Mm-hmm. Good?
Probably.
Oh, you're one of those guys now.
It's really hard not to. in that scenario. Well, because it's usually whenever I see people or like watch a movie with someone that has read the book to wherever movie, they're just like, oh, I wonder why they like didn't include this. But like whenever I was watching Misery, they just added shit that wasn't in there, and I was like, that's very weird. Like because like
one of those guys.
I hated it too because I may have enjoyed that movie.
Yeah,
I still don't think it was a good movie because like, Kathy Bates, she does really good, so I'll give her props and her roses. But the dude, he does not do good because like he literally gets hit on a leg that is like shattered, broken, and mangled. He goes and then he looks out the window. I was like, dude, I was like, did you just forget you was acting? Like, did they just like cut the scene and he was like, shit. But I don't know. I hated it too because I was like, fuck. I was like, I may actually enjoy this movie, but they just did weird things that like it made it not make sense in the movie. So I was like, why would you do like? I don't know. I get it. I really do get it. That's why I tried not to be as hard on that movie because I was like, it literally took me 10 hours to read this book, and they're trying to cram this in an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Back then, miniseries weren't really a thing, but taking a book that is over 5 hours long and making it into a movie, I think should be illegal. Like that is, I don't know, because I mean it's hard to do. You're going to miss out on a lot of shit doing that. Like I don't get how you can.
How long are Harry Potter movies or books? Sorry,
they're pretty long.
Yeah, so
but I have never read them.
Yeah,
so
but it's fair. I think it's just fair to be like, yeah, you have to take 10, 15 hours and throw it in two.
Yeah.
2, 3. 3 if you're honestly blessed by your company.
A couple things. So Stephen King has, as of 2019, he wrote 60 books. And I know of books he's released since then. So he has written over 60 books. He wrote his first book, which was, do you know? Carrey.
Oh, I love Carrey.
In 1971.
Like the movie?
The first movie was produced in 1973.
Wow. 2
years after he wrote his first book.
Dude's a go for a reason.
You know, he threw that book away and it was recovered by his wife. So you would not have Carrey if it wasn't for his wife, and may not have Stephen King, honestly, because that was his first published book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude's got to be a fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
He has got to be a weirdo.
Could you imagine sitting down and just talking to him?
He's got to be weird.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen an interview from him. But I mean, he looks like a normal guy.
I've never looked it up, so I haven't either.
He looks like a normal guy, but like I feel weird for reading as many horror books as I do. And he writes them. He has written more horror books than I have ever read books total in my life. But yeah, I finished up Misery, great book. I read Fantastic Land. Really, it was like one of those. So the premise is, it's this theme park that is stricken by a hurricane, and there's teenagers that work there that are trapped there, and they're stuck there for like 25 days in the park, and they like form tribes and shit and like start killing each other. But the whole message of the book is like, this happened because they went without their phones. That's what it tries to push on you, is that they're just like, oh, well, yeah, you don't know what kind of crazy shit people are capable of when they don't have access to their phone. I was like, bro, y'all was killing each other in 3 days. Yeah. Because you didn't have phones? Like, that's what...
Yeah, that's odd.
I hate that. Cool. It's cool.
Until you said that.
Every chapter is a different interview. They're interviewing someone else. To me, that would have been a really good podcast if it was real. But now it's just a bad book because it's not real, really not believable, and I hate, maybe I'm biased, I hate so fucking much whenever shows and media try to like tell us how addicted to our phones we are. Yeah. And I'm like, Because, like, I've even heard that at work when, like, as soon as I sit down for break, I'll get on my phone, check my email or something. Like, some old dude will be like, man, you young kids can't go 2 hours without your phone. I'm like, what do you want me to do right now? Like, I just sat down and checked my mail.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not like we're in the middle of work and I'm, like, on my phone the entire time while we're trying to get shit done. Like, I just, like, what do you...
Yeah. I think it's even more weird that, like, old people are just like, I cannot accept this. I think it's fucking weird. Like, just grow up. Like, is how I feel about it. Like, get on your phone.
Telling an 80-year-old man to grow up.
Dude,
it's wild.
I fucking hate that.
But I hate in media when they do that so much.
Yeah, it's lame.
It is so fucking annoying. Yeah. It's always my least favorite episodes of every show is whenever they try to, I don't know, I guess just poke fun at, like, hipster kids who are addicted to their phones who just the entire time they're talking, they're scrolling through their phone, they're like, yeah, whatever, okay, and they slide off on their hoverboard, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, where do y'all live to where this is happening? Because, like, I get it, that's the stereotype, but, like, it's my least favorite episode of New Girl.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Yeah, Family Guy has a fucking horrible episode when Peter becomes a hipster.
There's this trash.
Oh my god, it is horrible. He's like texting the entire time, and I'm like, oh my god, like they put emojis. Like, if your show ever has an emoji in it, it's just know it's not going to be a good episode.
It's not necessarily bad. It could be done well. I can't think of one.
Yeah.
I can't think of one, but it could.
And that is a rough spot to put anybody in where you're just like, oh, well, this never works. Think of one time it does right now.
Yeah. That's how I feel about, like, video game turning into movies. I think they could be good. I can't name one that I've seen that is good, but
I liked Uncharted.
Yeah.
I have never seen Uncharted. I mean, I have never played Uncharted. That was a really weird sentence I just said before that. But I have never played Uncharted. That's probably why I like the movie.
Maybe. Yeah. I like the Uncharted games because they're just Tomb Raider games, but with the guy lead is really all they are.
Yeah, but without a vagina.
Yeah, so, I mean, I liked... I loved the fucking Tomb Raider games, so I loved Uncharted. They're the same game, so...
Yeah.
They were good for me. I want to see it, because I like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
But I haven't, so...
But no, I mean, it's good, but I do see the same situation of, like, if you've read the books, you might not like the movie.
Yeah.
Just like if you've read the... Like, because I watched a guy review it, and he has clearly played every Uncharted.
Yeah.
And he doesn't say it verbatim, but his biggest complaint is that it's a movie. Because, like, he's just basically saying stuff that they did in the movie versus the game. And I'm like, well, what do you think about it as a movie?
Yeah.
You know, because that's how I try to look at Misery.
Yeah,
it's hard to.
I was about to say, if you've read the book, I bet it's the same way.
Yeah. But in Misery, even me thinking about it as just a movie, not tied to a book, it is kind of weird. Mm-hmm. But I can't look at it honestly. Yeah. I really can't. And so I get that. But it just is very easy for me to criticize people that do that. And yeah, I'm starting Lord of the Flies. Which
that's actually a book that I've kind of wanted to read, but never. Yeah, I just never got into it.
The one I downloaded, it is the author reading it.
Okay, cool.
No problem with that, but he is not like a professional speaker.
Yeah, so I bet it's...
So he doesn't speak clearly all the time, and he's an 80-year-old man.
Oh.
And I think he recorded it from his house because I can hear, like, faint hums in the background. Like, I never hear anybody talking or, like, his wife shutting the, like, door or something, but, like, I hear just a... and I'm like... Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Yeah.
Like, you could have just... Like, it's neat. The idea is neat. Not really. But, like if I'm reading Matthew McConaughey's autobiography...
Yeah.
Yes.
I
want Matthew McConaughey to talk.
Yeah.
If I'm reading Kevin Hart's autobiography, I want Kevin Hart to be the one talking. Mm-hmm. I don't care to listen to William Golding tell me his own story.
Yeah.
He has every right to.
Yeah.
But I don't care to hear that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, super excited. How's your week been?
Pretty good. Nothing too crazy. Movie-wise...
You get called up for the draft?
Not yet. We'll see. Movie-wise, I actually watched a movie, kind of, not, like, directly, but recommended from you. You hyped it up, so I wanted to check it out. Birds of Prey. I thought it had some amazing scenes, but overall I didn't love it. I think I ended up giving it like a 6 or a 7.
Yeah.
Just because...
I gave it like an 8.
Yeah. I thought it was okay. I thought it was kind of boring at parts.
Oh, wow.
But, I don't know. I think the action scenes are where that movie really shines. I think the slow-mo action scenes with Harley Quinn are
beautiful.
Wonderful. Those scenes are so good. And that's what really saved it for me. Yeah. But other than that, I was kind of just waiting for it to get back to it.
So, I think the most exciting part of that movie for me and why I held it to such high esteem is because that is the most Harley Quinn we have seen in live action.
Yes, in live action for sure.
And it was great. And it's not a coincidence that was written by a woman.
Yeah.
Because in every other one, they're just like, hey, Margot Robbie's pretty hot. So, she's not really Harley Quinn. Mm-hmm. She's just Margot Robbie dressed up as Harley Quinn. And we're going to make sure you think that.
Yeah.
But like in this one where she's not sexualized and she is Harley Quinn and she's, I don't know, not morally good. Mm-hmm. And she kind of does things that go against her morals even though she's not particularly a bad person.
Yeah.
And it's not just about her relationship with
she's
Joker.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
So
exactly. She has twisted morals.
Yeah.
But I don't know. This is the most her we get to see her, and I don't know. I love that.
I think the problem that I have with this movie is the same reason of why you probably haven't seen many of like when you're watching like the animated series of like Batman or anything. You don't see Harley Quinn episodes. It's because she's not ever been written as the
well. It's because she's attached to somebody.
Exactly, and so this movie being her own, it felt like almost a side character getting their own movie. And for me, it just didn't work as well as I hoped. But it was good. Especially in the DC world, it's great.
That's one of the reasons I put it on the back burner. It's because it's DC. And I was like, I'm not excited to see this.
Yeah.
In 2...
I think the more DC movies I watch, the more I'm going to like this one. Because I don't like more DC movies.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. But also because I thought it was going to be like a girl power movie. Mm-hmm. Like how in the Avengers... They just had like the girl power moment, and I'm like, why'd y'all do that? Like, we're pretty cool with that being female representation, each of them, but like that was just so corny to have them come together like the Powder Puff Girls and just.
I just love that you said we have that representation.
We do,
but like I don't know, maybe for someone that was fucking wonderful and cool if it was, but. From only guys' reviews, I've seen so many.
From only white guys' reviews. So we are pissed. But no, that's what I thought Birds of Prey was going to be.
Yeah.
Is just like them smelling their own farts that they made a whole movie that's women casted.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
It was pretty good in that reason.
Yeah. What else? What else you been? Fuck. While we're on DC, I started Peacemaker.
Is it good?
It is goofy, which is exactly what I wanted.
Okay, yeah.
It is. It's goofy. I don't want it to go on too long. I've watched 3 episodes, and like I think this will be really solid if it's like 1 or 2 seasons.
Okay.
I don't want it to go on too long because it is that goofy to where you're just like, okay, like I've kind of had enough, you know.
I am excited for it. Obviously, I need to watch Suicide Squad before.
Yeah, you do.
I should at least, even if you don't need to. I should.
Growing up, I never thought like me and you watched WWE growing up.
I never thought The Rock would be the superstar he was.
Yes. I never thought that, and I never thought that I would see John Cena butt-ass naked bending somebody over a fucking sink in a TV show.
You could have stopped that at so many places.
And it would have been crazy.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I never thought that growing up, the dude wearing a big-ass lock chain on his necklace, wearing jorts.
The guy who came into his own rap song.
Yeah. Yeah, I never thought that dude that I still have an action figure of. Like, I never thought I would see that, and it's just so wild that they let him.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, because, I don't know, to WWE, I could picture that being like how Disney doesn't want their stars to do anything explicit, and that's why most of them go ape shit once they're out of contract. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, John Cena is still a part of the WWE.
Yeah. I wonder why some of them don't become big actors. Because, like, the one that comes to mind is like Randy Orton. Like he obviously tried movies. Like I've seen some of his movies and he just wasn't great. But I've seen some of the early John Cena movies, and from what I remember, he wasn't great. Yeah. But I wonder why he just was able to progress and get in to bigger roles. Batista the same way.
So think about the three people who have made it really big.
The Rock, Batista, and John Cena.
They're very similar in the roles that they occupy. Mm-hmm. They're comedic relief. You can usually use their gigantic size as a comedy aspect, and they fulfill action roles. Yes. Randy Orton doesn't really fulfill any of those. Like, in order for him to get movies, he would have to be a really good actor.
Yeah. That's just the one that I thought of.
Oh, yeah. But I get it.
I just wonder why so many, like, because obviously if you're a WWE star and you're offered The Rock's role, you take it. But I wonder why they don't transition more to be into it. Because, I mean, there's definitely superstars in the WWE who don't ever get out of it.
It probably has to do with charisma, popularity, just...
Like Shawn Michaels. Why didn't I see that motherfucker in movies?
Yeah. Because, like...
Yeah, he doesn't fit the same...
exactly. And if you're getting a WWE star, like, I don't even know what role you could cast Shawn Michaels in that you could, like, use him for that. Because Shawn Michaels is somebody that would have to be a really good actor.
Yeah.
But, like, Batista's not an amazing actor. Mm-hmm. He's not a bad actor.
No.
Because, I mean, WWE stars are inherently actors.
Yeah.
John Cena is not an amazing actor. Not a bad one. The Rock's really not an amazing actor, but he's a good one.
Yeah. From what I've heard.
He's an experienced one.
Yeah. From what I've heard, I was going to say The Rock. It's not from what I've heard about The Rock. The Rock plays a really good role. I don't know how well he plays other roles, but the role that he plays, no one's better.
Yeah.
John Cena is, who I've heard, is pretty good in his new role. And what he's doing now, he's pretty good at.
I didn't expect it. I didn't expect to like it as much as I do, but yeah, he's really good in Suicide Squad too, and
yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, it just kind of fucking works out.
I actually watched 2 more movies though today.
Oh, yeah. How did I not mention that? But yeah
so, what's the YouTube channel that we watch?
Cosmonaut Variety Hour.
Shout out to them. They're wonderful.
Yeah, honestly, re-sparked my interest in DC and kind of this movie kick I've been on.
Yeah. They're wonderful. They're easily top 3, top 5 movie reviewers that I watch.
You count CinemaSins? I love CinemaSins.
I haven't watched them in so long.
Yeah. I know it's not technically a movie review.
Yeah, it kind of is. They're up there. I watch Jeremy Johns. I watch... Chris Stuckman is another really good one. A couple others that I wish I could name off the top of my head. But, yeah, they're all great. But he came up with a drinking game that went with the Fast and the Furious series.
That we are still affected by
as
we are shooting right now.
Yes. And it's great. It makes me like these movies more. But so we watched the first 2 Fast and the Furious movies. And the first one was a little entertaining, but overall I kind of thought it just was lackluster. It was
car porn.
Yeah.
It was a Transformers movie where the cars don't transform.
Yeah. It wasn't ridiculous enough that I could get behind it, but it wasn't realistic enough for me to be like, oh, okay, they're taking themselves serious. I see what they're going for.
Yeah.
So it was weird. And then the second one wanted to be more serious. And I hated it. I really did not like it.
Yeah, that one wanted to be more of a Miami Vice movie.
Yeah. I think it sucked. Like, I really think the second one sucked. I think the first one just was lackluster.
It's rated a 6.8.
The first one was, right?
Both of them.
Oh, I didn't know they both were.
Yeah.
So, I'm excited to continue because I know where this goes. I know that we're about to get to Cars in Space is about to be wonderful for the wrong reasons. I think my liver
just skipped a beat when you said that. But... What other movies can we do this with?
Transformers.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think of over-the-top movies that there is so many tropes that you can point to
Austin
where it's
Powers.
made a drinking.
Scary movies.
Well, no, because that's like... It's got to be like movies that are... kind of unintentionally goofy that have a lot of tropes in them.
I'm trying to think of sagas. So the one that I guess you're sick of me talking about is Matrix.
Yeah.
Because there's 4 of them now. So there's enough. Toy Story's at 4, so maybe there's enough of those. But it's hard to point out a trope in those for me, off the top of my head.
Yeah.
The Matrix, I bet there's when this happens, and I bet there's shit that every movie includes it 50 times.
Yeah, because dude, we could even make one for Transformers. Whenever a fucking car reference is made,
I thought you were going to say they transform. I was going to say we ain't going to make it.
Whenever one of the main characters are sweaty for no fucking reason, whenever one of the cars are being a racial stereotype, there's just whenever an explosion happens for no reason.
The racial stereotype.
They're bad.
I can't believe it.
They're really bad.
Yeah.
But, so, I don't know. There's got to be more movies
Toy
like
Story,
that. We're probably...
The 4, I was thinking of when they collapsed.
I still haven't seen the 4th
I
Toy
just
Story.
did recently, a couple weeks ago.
How is it?
It's good.
Because
the trilogy,
it's supposed to be the best, one of the best trilogies.
I think it is the best trilogy that I've ever seen. So I think the 3rd one's a perfect ending. I think
wild for people. We still haven't seen Godfather.
I don't fucking
just keep that in mind.
I heard Godfather 3 sucks, so fuck them.
Even if it does,
fuck them.
The first 2 are a 9.2 out of 10.
Yeah. Well, on Rotten Tomatoes, the reason I used to say Toy Story is the best trilogy is because it was a 99, a 99, and a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, and I was like, there's nothing better. That is the perfect trilogy.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it occupies a weird space of the 3rd one does feel like the perfect ending. It does it sends off the trilogy perfect, and then it does seem like it does pick up after. So you're kind of all right, we're back.
Yeah,
and it is off putting, but it's good. The movies are good. The animation is through the roof.
Well, yeah, of course,
yeah, but
I still haven't seen Incredibles 2 either.
It's lackluster. If you love the first one, you won't love the second one. It is. It's just lackluster.
It's honestly been a while since I've seen Incredibles, so I remember loving it.
Some people... I actually seen... One of the movie reviewers that I watched said that they think The Incredibles is top... They said it was number 1 best animated movie ever.
They haven't seen Coco. Or they have, and they're racist.
It was before Coco.
That's right.
When I watched that. And then they actually convinced me to watch the Princess Kaguya from Studio Ghibli, because they said that's the first movie that they've ever said was better than Incredibles. And I think it is, to be fair. Princess Kaguya is fucking wonderful.
It's crazy on that IMDb list how many animated movies are on there.
Yeah, I thought it was cool.
I
didn't expect Your Name.
I need to see that, but yeah, I didn't either.
It's cheesy. It's a cheesy animated love, anime love story. I didn't expect that to be top 100 watchable movies.
Yeah, I didn't expect anime to be on there, honestly.
No.
But yeah.
Spirited Away made sense.
Yeah, that does.
But I think there's 2, maybe 3 more Studio Ghibli movies, which are just
one of them's
Grave of the Fire.
Yes.
Fireflies.
Yes. I was actually surprised that it was on there because I had that on my watch list before I knew it was on there. Mm-hmm. And then I saw it on there. I was like, oh, well, cool. And it's also an actual good movie, so that actually works out pretty good.
I love them. They're so good.
Solid, dude.
Unless they do 3D.
The food.
Unless they do 3D. Their 3D movie's awful. It's new.
I didn't know that.
It's new, and it looks like...
Where did you see it?
I didn't watch... I watched the review of it, and I just seen, the clips of it.
And it was enough.
Yeah. The animation's horrible. A 3D...
That's usually... If there's a complaint about a Studio Ghibli movie, I will usually accept every other complaint except bad animation.
Yeah, the 2D animation's perfect. The 3D's awful. I don't know why it's
3D.
so bad. I don't know why it's so bad.
I didn't even know they did. What's the movie?
Fuck, I don't remember. I don't know the name. It's forgettable. It's not worth it. It's not worth the look up. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, Spirited Away is solid.
Yeah, Princess Kaguya has moved up to my favorite. I think it's number 1 for me.
Did you ever see Howl's Moving Castle?
I like it.
I love it. I think that one's my favorite.
Yeah, I put it under Spirited Away for me, but again, it's wonderful.
Yeah, I get it. I would say they're just solid, dude. The fucking food in those movies is so fucking good. Yeah.
I wanted to get the little
details
tattoo from Howl's Moving Castle.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name right now. Or the Scarecrow, because he's wonderful. too.
Scarecrows are dope.
Yeah.
Rick and Morty's definitely got me on a new Scarecrow kick. I haven't had in quite some years.
Yeah. Not to talk about that show, but too much. But their new series is good.
Brought it up for 2 seconds. He's like, not to talk about.
No, I don't ever want to bring it up because
it's our Rick and Morty episode.
I would hate the Rick and Morty fan base, like diehard Rick and Morty fan base, to be our fan base.
If we could appeal to them, though,
that'd be tough.
We'll have a lot of fans.
I mean, yeah, but it'd be tough. Are you gonna be a Rick and Morty podcast? Is that what you want?
We need to break down every episode of Rick and Morty,
pointing out references,
which I don't think we would be the only ones doing that. I say that as a joke.
I don't think we'd be able to get them all.
Like, no, I don't. Yeah, even
there's no way.
Yeah, I don't even know what I'd be considered the most knowledgeable about, like when it comes to shows and stuff. But like, I still don't even understand all the references. It's probably because I've only seen like half the movies that every movie makes a reference to.
Yeah,
but like, yeah, because I'm just now understanding some of the references towards like Citizen Kane, Casablanca. Yeah. So
the amount,
I can't imagine
the amount of movies is crazy. Like just in general, how many movies there are. Like if you watch 500 movies, you haven't made a dent in every movie ever. And that's fucking crazy to me.
I have, according to IMDb, I have watched 606 movies.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and I feel like I haven't done shit.
Yeah, because there's a lot more.
Yeah, there's a lot of old shit too, which is very hit or miss. It's either going to be, from what I've seen, at least the popular movies, because I'm sure there's so many movies that was made back in the day that were just awful.
Yeah.
But from what I've seen, the movies that are worth watching from that era is either really good or it's goofy bad. Mm-hmm. Which doesn't mean it's a bad movie, but just the privilege we have now looking back at it, all the neat animation we have and shit. Looking back at it, they just look bad.
Yeah. I like movies that are more set in a small premise when it comes to older.
Yeah. Just a romanticized story, or just like I don't know. Like, I don't know.
The one I think of is like 12 Angry Men.
Yeah. But yeah. Watch Night of the Living Dead then. It's shot in pretty much just a house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really goofy.
I don't know.
It's one of those movies that it's really fun to watch, but I think I shouldn't have watched it by myself. And that's not like I was scared shitless kind of thing, but it was that's a movie that you watch with your friends. Because like it's like that kind of goofy.
Yeah. There is some movies that I wonder, like, say Norbit. I wonder how much I'd like that movie. I just sat in my room by myself.
I bet you would piss yourself laughing still. That movie is so goddamn funny. You're telling me you don't think you would crack a smile whenever she asks who's been eating the turkey ass?
Who's been eating the turkey ass is always funny.
Let's
become a Norbit podcast.
I would love.
We have 2 fans.
I would love to live in a world where I can quote that, like on a regular basis, and it not be out of place or forced. If I could quote, who's been eating the turkey ass?
You're just going to be cooking turkey ass for everybody? So you can just say that?
Yeah, it's going to be very strenuous to quote that fucking movie. And his old fucking fat phobic dad, I guess. Kind of racist dad.
Very racist.
Yeah, not kind of. I think he even says he's racist. But yeah, dude, that movie is so fucking funny.
Yeah, but I was just using
it's a bad movie though.
I love it.
It is it is a bad movie though. But like I think it's funny.
Yeah. Could you imagine? I'm like, whenever I think of someone saying it's a bad movie though, I think of like a crude older man just being like, this isn't even that funny. Like, shut the fuck
racist
up.
Man.
Yeah, like, shut the fuck up. Like, this movie's fucking hilarious.
Now, Talladega Nights, that's comedy. Every dumb white person I know can quote Talladega Nights like it was like they grew up on it.
I'm not gonna lie. Living in Kentucky, everyone.
I can quote Talladega Nights.
Everyone I know.
I know I kind of softball that one in, but I can quote it. And Step Brothers.
Yeah.
I guess just Will Ferrell movies.
Will Ferrell's another person that I feel is like
a dick in real life.
No.
Oh.
No, I actually don't think so.
I could see him being a monster in real life.
I bet he's just like...
I don't want to, and I have zero reason to believe that.
I don't think that at all.
I don't want to be the one that spreads the rumor, and it ended up being true.
Yeah.
I think... Like Hannibal Buress, but not really.
I think he's like Seth Rogen, where he has like a couple like through-the-roof phenomenal movies that everyone loves, that makes it to where like if you just see them in a movie, you're just like, oh, movie's funny.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, like watch it first and then see if it's actually funny. Versus people are just like, oh yeah, 8 out of 10, the movie's funny.
You couldn't see Will Ferrell being a dick in real life.
I could, but I don't think he is.
I could very much see him being someone who's actually not funny in real life, and he is a fucking dick, like in between scenes and shit.
I don't know. Maybe
I don't know why.
Yeah,
no reason to think that.
I don't think this. You're more cynical than me, and I think
maybe it's because he's not on social media too.
Maybe
because like you don't get to see the little fun, chippy bits like you do with like Kevin Hart and The Rock. Like you don't get to see them in between, even though that could and probably is scripted.
Yeah. What about Jim Carrey?
He seems wonderful.
See, I think that he's someone that I could be like, oh, I bet. Like I could see him being a dick.
You know why?
He's weird.
Well, yeah. Because I was going to say he's like an artsy.
Yeah, Will
weird.
Ferrell doesn't feel artsy weird, so I think he's just probably just like...
To me, Will Ferrell seems like a guy who would take his craft very serious.
Oh, I feel that way about Jim Carrey.
I could see that too, but...
Seth Rogen, no way. No way he's a dick.
I don't know. I've just seen like... I don't think I could see Jim Carrey being a dick, but I could see him not being a funny person. Outside of movies, like I could see him being a serious person, but like not a dick. I could see Will Ferrell being a dick, but Jim Carrey, because like from what I've seen of him, mostly outside of like movies and stuff, he seems like kind of a serious guy.
Yeah,
because like he talks political.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I followed him on Twitter for a little bit, and he was very political, and I was like, "This is like not why I follow Jim Carrey."
Yeah, like mostly anti-Trump stuff, right? Like he's like kind of leaning left.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he doesn't. To me, I don't think he'd be a dick, but I think he'd be somebody that, like, if you walked up and like try to be casual and joke around, he'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah,
like not a dick, but he's just like,
"Stop."
You know, I'm not a character, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it sounds kind of mean, but like, I mean, that's true. Like, you know,
yeah.
I mean, I could imagine if I played a bit and somebody was like, "Hey, talk with your asshole," and he's like, "No." Like,
why is that your bit?
There's really other things you think about when you think of him, and it's not him talking with his ass.
No, well, you didn't say him. You said you. You were like, if you were in a bit, and then you were like, oh, talk with their asshole.
Oh, like, you've never tried talking with your ass?
No. See, this is...
Dude, I put myself in extremely weird situations and ask... It sounds insecure when I say it out loud, but I put myself in extremely obscure situations that I'll see on TV, and then I'll ask my girlfriend, I'm like, hey, if I did this, what would you do? Like, would you stay with me? And I was like, if you walked into the house and you saw that I was trying to suck my own dick, she was like, oh, I would leave. I was like, you would leave? I was like, you wouldn't even... I don't know why I put myself in this scenario. I was upset by the answer, but I was like, you're not even kind of impressed?
I would... just ask if you wanted me to come back later. I'd be like, hey,
this is a bad time.
Yeah, I'd be like, you know, I'll circle the block a couple times if you need. Like, it's like 30, 45 minutes. Like, what do you like,
what if I asked you to, like, push me? Like, if I was just like, oh, I'm, like, this far away. I just need a little... See, here I go again. I don't know why I want to test people in my life like this.
This feels like a scenario I'd have to be in. Like, I need to walk in on it and just be like, all right, this is the decision I made that day. Like,
yeah.
Because I don't know.
I don't know why I do that. Like,
I feel like a dick to say no. But I feel like a normal person to say no.
It's a very normal thing, but, like, I'd be like, well, what kind of friend would I be?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I didn't just inch you closer to your erect wiener.
Would I rather feel like I'm a bad friend or a normal person? And I think
I'd rather feel like I don't know. I think I'd rather be a good friend.
Yeah, I think that.
I'd be like,
gotta help you.
Like, we're going to talk about this later. Honestly, if we don't, I'm also okay with that. But I'll help you know 2 things that I'm leaving right after, and you owe me.
Yeah.
You owe me. Yeah, it's like kind of a vow of silence I don't tell everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just throw myself in these weird... Like, it could literally be a scene on TV where a guy murders his girlfriend's entire family, and I'd be like, hey, babe, what would you do? And I'm just expecting her to be like, ride or die, baby. But she's just like, I would call the cops. And I'd be like, you fucking bitch. Like, you traitorous bitch. Like, et tu, Brute? You fucking cunt.
So, not at all. Especially the one you just brought up, but not at all on the same level that you did. But I sometimes...
had a pretty good week.
I, like, every now and then, it's not super frequent, but it's more than you'd probably think. I think of my movie, or, like, my life as if it was a movie. Like, if it was being shot. So sometimes I'll pick a song that, like, would be playing in, like, if the movie was playing... And, like, do shit as if, like, cameras were on me. In scenario, like, and mostly around people. I don't do this, like, by myself. But, like, if I'm in a scenario, I'm like, oh, what if this was a movie? Like, and I play that out sometimes.
Has Limp Bizkit ever popped up?
No.
Well, you're just like, man, I could really hear Rowan right now in this scenario.
Yeah. I think it comes from, like, wanting to direct a movie that I kind of, like, pretend that I'm doing it in my own life sometimes.
I would like to have the say in certain things when it comes to director, but without being the director. Because like I want someone else.
It's like a producer is kind of what that is.
Yeah, but like, I don't even want that responsibility. Like I just want to be able to do things that I want to. Yeah. Like have the say in things that I want to, and it happened. And I'd be like, hey, I think this would be good here. And then it's like, oh well, you was good with that. Maybe you could help us here. And I'm like,
I want to...
like, that's not what I want to do.
I want to be the assistant director, like, 5 times.
Yeah.
And then be the director. Like, I want to work behind a director who's really good. Like, work with Quentin Tarantino, see how he does shit.
I don't think I'd want to work with Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino's a weird fucking guy.
I think that's somebody I'd realize I don't like.
Yeah. But I would like to see how he does shit, and then do my own thing. But I would like to work with someone who's really good first. But I don't think I'm going to ever get that privilege.
Yeah, for just no reason.
Yeah, like, I don't know what I'm doing to inch myself forward in that way. I'm not going to film school or shit. Like,
no.
I just want to be able to do that. And then,
yeah, I just kind of want shit handed to me. Like, because, like, I want a lot of things, but I'm like, boy, do I not care enough about it to work for it. Like, I want this, but I'm like, man, I don't want to go to this school, like an art school or something. Like, I just...
A lot of it feels like, especially like directing, I'm like, that's a in my 30s kind of thing. Like that's a later in life. Like right now I just watch movies. I get good at watching.
When I'm 30, I'll just roll out of bed and somebody will offer me a directing job.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm like, in like 6 years I'll just be able to do that. But I'm not doing shit now to set myself up.
Yeah, you don't really think of people like wanting to do that shit since they're 8. You know, but in a lot of times, that's like the best people that are like, oh yeah, I've been like Lil Wayne. He's been like rapping since he was like 12. Yeah. And you're just like, wow.
Yeah. Like, I was going to go full circle and say like the Matthew McConaughey book, when I read it, it showed me that like at a young age, like he worked in movies and even like was good in them. And then...
How do you know that though? Did he say that?
Yeah, of course. Like... I don't know. I trust him.
What do you mean, why would he lie? Okay, he's telling his own story, and he was like, yeah, I was great forever.
Well, here, let this continue through. So, he was talking about how he got an early role. Can't think of the name, but it's the All Right, whatever movie that it comes from. Yeah, think about it. He
plays a creepy older dude that hangs out at a bowling alley and hits on young girls.
Yeah, so he said he really got into the role. And was able to get more screen time than he was originally planned for.
How old was he for that?
Young. I mean, that's pretty early into his career. And then he went on from that and didn't get shit for a long time.
Yeah.
And, like, that's weird to me. Like,
he's a handsome guy.
Well, I just think of it as more of, like, how do you get into a movie that's popular? You are a big part of that movie. and then you don't get anything else. Like, that doesn't just...
Dazed and Confused.
Yes. So, in Dazed and Confused, but, like, how'd you not get another big role for a little bit? Like, that just doesn't add up to me, and that's where that shit doesn't make sense.
I could see him being a dick.
I don't think so either. I could see it. This is one that, like, definitely more. Yeah. If people were like, oh, yeah, he's a dick, I, like, 100% believe. But I don't think he actually is. I think he's probably just weirdly... He's just probably a weird guy. Probably not... I don't think he's a dick at all. But he could be. So,
I have a proposition. There's a fight about to come on.
Okay.
What is your song of the week?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, shit. You go first.
Song of the week. Fuck, I was really banking on that.
Oh,
Oh, wait. Here, let me just do this.
How do you say her name? I don't know how to say her last name.
Uchis?
Uchez?
I don't know.
All right, so her, Callie Uchez. Yeah. It's Few Mayhor. Featuring SZA. I guess it's the remix?
Huh.
Featuring SZA, because there's one with Party Next Door that's the original version, but neither of them say remix. This song is fucking wonderful, by the way. And it's 90% in Spanish. I don't know shit about it.
Yeah.
And it's just wonderful.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's so good. I think it's just the beat, the flow of it.
It must be pretty good, because it's hard for me to listen to a song that I can't understand.
Yeah, me too, usually.
Unless it's an anime.
I also, yeah.
If I hear an anime soundtrack, I never understand a word, but they usually slap.
Yeah. Another thing that I think helped this, I didn't know she was hot. I didn't know she is.
From what I've seen of her, she's almost like Lady Gaga-esque in looks.
No.
From what maybe I saw something else. Maybe I just saw Lady Gaga. But
no,
I honestly don't know what she looks like then.
She's fucking bad. And I think that helped hearing the song.
It never hurts.
Yeah. So I think I might have a hot bias on this one, but super bad.
Yeah, that's fair. Mine, I can't remember where I heard this song. But it's Down and Out in New York City by James Brown. Yes, I do. Okay. It's in Malcolm and Marie.
Oh.
Yeah.
I downloaded a song from that too.
What is it? Now New York, I'm going to slap you.
No, it was...
I'm going to slap you.
It's not going to be that one, because even if it is. No, it was I Forgot to Be Your Lover.
Oh.
I love that song.
Yeah, neat.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are...
Take a pause and then come back after the fight?
Oh. I was just going to say wrap it up.
Okay.
I was going to say we could make our predictions real quick. I was going to say that picture I sent you, I'm seriously upset you didn't respond, because back in like 2008, they had his fighting style as Hood.
Do you know why I didn't respond? I fucking sent it to you a week before.
A week before?
Probably. Man. Probably 2-3 days maybe, but...
Dude, I suck to talk to.
It was on Twitter, and then you sent it to me on Instagram, so I was
I really don't remember seeing that, but...
I even double-checked, because I was like, I know I fucking sent this to the guy. I was so mad. But, yeah.
That was some WWE shit.
Bobby Green wins. I don't think it's going to happen.
Seriously? Oh, okay, I was like, but no, off camera. Is that what you... I think Islam takes it in first round. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but
no, Bobby Green wins this.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's been Jammin.